Good afternoon, my name is Fergus Weekly from a company called Allied Solar in Dublin, Ireland. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some of the features of the Sorel TDC3 solar controller. When we first turn on the controller, we're presented with a number of different language options. So today we will choose English. Again, because this is the first time we've turned on the controller, we're asked to input the time and the date. So we'll bring this down to 4:10 on June the 2nd. Press OK. And we'll say yes to the setup wizard, yes to the commissioning. And we'll look at each of these arrangements in turn. We have a number of different hydraulic arrangements which allows us to do various things with our solar panel and our storage system. So the first one here, the solar and storage, is very simply a single cylinder, a single panel and a pump. When the panel gets hotter than the cylinder by a certain amount, we turn on our pump. Very simple. The next hydraulic arrangement we have is we still have our pump, sensor 1, sensor 2 on the left hand side. In addition to this, but completely independent, we have a second pump. The second pump can be used to add extra heat into the cylinder or extract it. Now this is what we commonly term as a heat dump. The next system here is a bypass. This may be used, for example, in an unvented cylinder if we wanted to make sure that no extra heat was going into the coil of the cylinder. Return lift. Again, this one here would be used for a preheat cylinder. We have a large cylinder here and we're running this off to showers or a kitchen, and if the solar panel hasn't managed to heat the whole cylinder up to the required temperature, we can add extra heat in here through the divert valve and sensor number 3. Here we have a cylinder with a top coil and a bottom coil, and the divert valve switches between them. This one here, we have a cylinder with an external heat exchanger. For example, we might go onto a job and find that the cylinder is a very high quality cylinder, plenty of insulation on it, but it only has a single coil or has no spare coil for the solar. So we simply bolt a heat exchanger onto the side, and this controller allows the functionality to actually control it. Now this would be the common east-west arrangement with our divert valve. So we'd have the panel on the east working away, and when the sun moved around to the other side of the roof, we'd have the panel on the right working away. This arrangement is simply a variation of the last one, but instead of the divert valve we have 2 pumps. Here we have 2 storage areas, a buffer and a domestic hot water cylinder, and a divert valve swapping between them. Very similar to the last arrangement, except this time instead of the divert valve we have 2 separate pumps. This one is a very, very nice arrangement. Normally we'd have a buffer tank here, and the solar panel just simply throws the heat into the buffer tank, or we might have a gas or a wood burner or a gas stove or whatever. And we have our domestic hot water cylinder somewhere else. The buffer tank might be, for example, in the garage, and this would be in the main house. So instead of running the pipework all the way over to the main house and having that pipework working for hours and hours each day, losing lots of heat, we simply transfer the heat from the solar panel into the buffer tank, And then when the heat was required in the domestic hot water cylinder, we simply turn this tank on, or this pump on, for maybe 15 minutes to extract just the amount of heat we need, heat up the domestic hot water cylinder, and then turn off this pump. Here we have a solar panel connected to a heat exchanger and into a pool. And here, similar circuit, except we have a domestic hot water cylinder here, or a buffer tank. And again, on this controller we have some very simple functionality. Delta T controller simply, is S1 hotter than S2? Yes, turn on relay number 1. Escape. This presentation and the step-by-step training notes to accompany the video can be downloaded from www.alliedsolar.ie/downloads. We haven't asked you to register or anything, so all the information is simply there just to click on and download as you require. Thank you.